Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well and I hope that you have an incredible day. I'm here to do an intuitive card reading to see what messages, guidance, and insights the universe wants to share with us, especially involving things like wanting help finding your path, getting a little bit confused about which way to turn, and feeling a little bit lost. So let's take a look at the cards and see what the universe wants to share with us. Okay, so first thing the universe wants us to know is, what does your heart want? Be free to manifest your heart's desires. So many of us are told that we shouldn't pursue our passions, that we should ignore our hopes and dreams because it's quote unquote not realistic. That's just not the way the world works. You're in for disappointment. You're gonna get yourself hurt if you try to go after that. That's too big. You gotta dream smaller, this, that, and the other. But you deserve to be happy in life. And maybe things won't pan out exactly the way that you envision them to, but it's been put into your heart and soul for a reason. So you should pursue what lights you up inside, what brings you joy, what brings you peace. And other people may be well-intentioned when they tell you all these things and they try to, quote-unquote, bring you back down to reality, but they don't know your path. They don't know what's best for you. They may try to do what's best for you because of all their, lived experience. Like, no, I know, God, I've been here. I've been around the block. I've been here for, decades or however long it's been. Listen to me, I know best. And it's just like, you can take that with a grain of salt, but they don't know your life story. They don't know your path. It is unique to you. So stay true to yourself and do more of what lights you up inside. Follow your heart more. Do more of what makes your heart sing and makes your soul shine bright. Because life's too short to pretend to be something we're not, Yeah. Spend time on you. Balance yourself. That's the thing. So many of us are spending all this time on the external and all these other people and all these other places and things and obligations. And that's not to say that we shouldn't do any of that. That's not to say that, other people, responsibilities like jobs, all that doesn't matter. But you're going to be with yourself the whole time. Like, you're the only one you will be with the whole time. You have to live with yourself and think about how much more empowering and enjoyable it will be to be around someone who actually is happy with their life. And happiness is a choice. Peace of mind is a choice. But if you are staying true to yourself, if you are being authentic, you bring such a different, vibrant, incredible energy than those who are pretending, who are selling themselves short, that are playing small, that are being something they're not, trying to dim their light and fit into this little box and conform with society's expectations. So spend time on you. Spend time on self-care. Make sure you are filling up your cup so then you can pour out into other people. You can give more because you have taken care of yourself. So many times we're told to put ourselves last, and it's not inherently bad to put yourself last sometimes because there are other things that are important, but it's more about making sure you're not putting yourself last all the time to the point where you are exhausted, your cup is empty, and you have no more to give, but people are constantly saying, give more, give more, give more, we need more, why aren't you doing more? It's like, you don't need to put yourself in a place of burnout. Yeah, see with your heart. The time is now to hear the messages. That's the thing. The heart, your soul, is trying to lead the way for you. And so often in society, we're told to ignore that inner calling, to ignore our intuition and instincts, because it's quote-unquote illogical, quote-unquote unreasonable. It does, like, that, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that? Like, when you feel the intuitive pulling, that nudging, that guidance to be like, oh, I should go here now. And it's like, well, usually it's all trafficky. And then it's like, but it could be meant for you. There are no accidents or coincidences in this universe. You could be getting lined up for a synchronicity, for the universe to line things up beautifully for you, for something that will help you along your path. But if you get too caught up in the mind and the logic of it all, you can talk yourselves out of things that would be in your best interest and would benefit you. So often that happens to us. Like, I remember back when I was at one of my jobs at a school, and I just got this really bad feeling all of a sudden. I was like, well, I don't have any like reasonable, logical reason to be feeling this way. Like, it just felt it in my gut, and I was like, why is my heart starting to race? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, I'm fine. And then turns out the principal director of the school came on and started bashing me and just gaslighting me and was doing all these things. I'm like, oh, I was picking up on the energy of this. That's why that happened. It wasn't me being, irrational, illogical, senseless. It's like, no, I felt the energy way before my, reasoning and my mind caught up with it. It's like, okay, I see what that was. So that's the thing. Your heart and your soul know the way, even if we don't have all the, logic and reasoning to back it up right now with the mind. So learn to trust. We gotta stay in tune with our heart more, So we also have, okay, yeah, hold on, it got stuck. So New Moon in Pisces, attuned to the divine. That's the thing. When we are resonating and aligned and in tune with our heart and soul, we are connecting with the divine. The divine, the universe, God, source, creator, however you would like to phrase it, knows all of the different components in play. It knows the best way, the easiest way, however you want to put it, to helping us get to where we want to be and where we need to be. But often we get disconnected because we try to, logic and our reason our way through things. We try to justify things. The mind is great with coming up with all these reasons why we shouldn't do things. Like, oh, if I take that chance, it could cost me a lot of money. It could backfire. Other people have tried and failed, this, that, and the other. And it's just like, that's not to say there isn't truth to that. But is that denying you your true self, your true calling, your true path? Like, is it denying your happiness? Is it denying your success? If you stay, curled up in your comfort zone the whole time, you will never learn, grow, and improve. You will never become your best self. You will never have all the happiness that you can because you're still playing small. The comfort zone isn't inherently bad, just like the mind isn't inherently bad. But if we rely solely on the mind and stay purely in our comfort zone, we're actually hindering ourselves. So tune into the divine more and trust the process, trust the divine, trust the universe, because it's working out everything in our favor. Even if it doesn't look like it, it wastes nothing. It's like a GPS system because it knows where we're heading, and so it can reroute if we make a choice that, maybe we get caught up in, fear with false evidence appearing real and the mind's, machinations, and it talks us out of taking certain chances. Like, okay, now you've turned this way. Okay, here are the directions of how to get to where you want. And it'll reroute and reroute and reroute based on where you currently are. So in the end, you will get to where you need to be, but you may be, extending your trip. You may be, taking some detours. You may be going down some bumpier roads. And that's okay. You'll still make it there in the end. The universe isn't going to abandon you. It's not going to forsake you. Yeah. Full moon in Taurus, detoxify. That's the thing. Like, we can have some very unhealthy coping mechanisms. We can have some not so good relationships where we put up with more than we should, and people are gaslighting us, belittling us, invalidating us, disrespecting us, being cruel, aggressive, all these things. Can be in jobs that are slowly killing us from the inside. Listen, so many of my family members tell me I should go work for this company that so many of them either have worked or are still working for, and it's just like, you literally are complaining about it all the time, and I've had some of you come and tell me that it's killing you mind, body, and soul, yet you want me to join in on that. No. And then they'll start saying, well, I'm too old to do a new start, and like, some of them aren't that old. They just want to stay in the comfort and the familiar of that, and that's fine, that's their choice to make, but we can detoxify our lives so we can lighten up and do better for ourselves. We can have more peace. We can have more love. We can have more joy. We can stay more true to ourselves and follow our hearts instead of getting caught up in all these traps of society and all these like complications and drama and hot mess, because it can be a lot. For real. Yeah. New moon in Capricorn. Step up and leave. That's the thing. We need to start making aligned, inspired actions. We can't constantly be waiting. And that's not to say that sometimes the best way to step up and lead for your life is to take a step back, to cool down, to breathe, to regain your calm, to process, because sometimes we're coming from a place of like rushing and trying to force things and fear, and we won't make the best, decisions. Again, the universe will use everything to our benefit. It's like that GPS system where it's recalculating and helping us get new directions where we're going. But if we can come from a aligned place where we're taking that inspired action, where we're listening to our heart, our soul, our intuition, our instincts, it's going to go smoother. It's going to potentially go faster and easier, and it's going to just be more aligned and resonating with what we really want. We're not going to be getting caught up and trying to force things and be like, oh, well, this is what society says that I should want, so I should do it, and then you get it and you're not happy. You could even be miserable and suffering. There's how they put all this emphasis on having so much money, but usually when you get like those kind of jobs, it's like there's lots of long hours, lots of overtime. You don't get to really spend time with your loved one or have time for hobbies or to take care of yourself, and you have to ask yourself, is it worth it? Is what you have right now truly worth it? And if it is, all the more power to you. Go for it. But if you find that it's not worth it, maybe you need to start letting go of some things. Maybe you need to start making changes and doing things differently so it can be healthier for you. Because you got to take care of yourself. You don't need to keep going down the same path if it's destroying you. Like, how much are you going to enjoy that experience? Life is meant to be enjoyed. No, not everything's going to be enjoyable. There's going to be bumps along the road. There's going to be challenges. There could be, some suffering. There's going to be lessons, but it's meant to be enjoyed. You're meant to savor the beauty of life. There's so many blessings here. There's so many reasons to be grateful, but we usually get caught up in, the external validation, society's expectations, what other people want for us, that we're not staying true and authentic to ourselves, And that's not to say that other people have no, worth and like they don't know anything, but they don't necessarily know what's best for us. And yeah, it's all about getting a broader perspective and a clearer perspective, because when we put so much focus on the external, it's like we have, you know, how the metaphor of, you know, fill up your own cup. Well, it's like your cup is full of murkiness. Like there's all this like debris and like it's not clear to see what's in your cup. But if you can clear up your perspective, if you can get in tune with what it is you truly want, what lights you up inside, it will clear up and you could see what's been in your cup all along, and you could have had gold in your cup. But because you were so busy fixated on the external instead of the internal, your vision was clouded. You couldn't see what you had already. You couldn't see gifts that you had to share. You didn't see like your strengths. Because I know with me, I've struggled with that, because all these people love to gaslight me, love to scapegoat me, and they aren't, you know, tending to their internal world, and so they try to say, oh, everyone else is the problem, instead of taking accountability and responsibility for themselves. And when you hear it all the time, you can start to believe it. But if you can have that strong, stable internal foundation of knowing your worth, of focusing and prioritizing your peace of mind and well-being, yeah, you could have it, your foundation shaken a little bit, but you're going to be able to weather the storm so much better, because you have that internal knowing. It's strong, it's stable, you're secure in yourself. You don't need all these other people to, you know, basically self-soothe you and be like, oh yes, you're great. It's just like, that's not to say that it's bad to get support from other people and have affirmations and encouragement, but people can get very caught up in their emotions, and so they can do and say some harmful things, whether they intend to or not. Sometimes it's very unintentional. So it's just like, if you can, you know, find peace in yourself and connect with the divine, it's going to go a lot easier. Yeah, the snake transformation. That's the thing. We're in a period of transformation where we are recognizing old ways that do not serve us, and we're changing our minds and we're changing our lives, and we are not, you know, like we've outgrown the old, like we've shed that old skin like the snake. And yeah, also it's also the year of the snake, so it's very much a year of transformation, shedding the old, some rebirth, you know, because when we've outgrown things, we don't need to keep clinging on to them. That's just going to hold us back, hinder us, and harm us. So what can you do to let go, to detoxify, to, you know, get in tune with yourself and the universe? Because there's so much that the universe wants to bless us with, but we can often get in our own way. Let's see. We have release. That's what I was saying. Let go of old patterns and beliefs that no longer serve your highest good. Embrace freedom in your life. That's the thing. When we are clinging to our comfort zone, to old ways that we have outgrown, we are basically imprisoning ourselves in chains without realizing it. We're restricting ourselves. We're not allowing ourselves to move freely. We're not allowing ourselves to grow and learn and improve. And that's not to say that comfort is always bad. Sometimes we need it. Sometimes we need to go back to the comfort zone so, you know, we can potentially, you know, lick our metaphorical wounds so we can regain our footing. But the issue is when we stay there, when we refuse to step out, when we refuse to do new things, when we refuse to try and take chances, because it's in the unknown and the uncertainty that all these beautiful opportunities, blessings, and growth and learning are. And we don't need to stay in the old. It's not that all of the old is bad, but we need to be able to adapt and be flexible. You are flexible and capable of facing changes. Trust in the strength to navigate any challenges that arise. That's the thing. We have a lot more strength than we give ourselves credit. We are a lot more capable than we give ourselves credit. We are a lot more flexible than we give ourselves credit. We are a lot more resilient than we give ourselves credit. And the thing is, we don't have to do it alone. We can get support from, others who truly have our best interests at heart. You want to be mindful about which people you rely on, because some people, they're very covert. They may act to your face like they're in your corner, that they're here to encourage you, support you, love on you. But they could have some twisted things going behind the scenes, beneath the surface, and they could be secretly wishing for your downfall. So you got to be careful about that. But at the end of the day, the universe is always here in your corner, backing you up. It's helping you get that stability. And you are co-creating with the universe to create all this beautiful new. And you can tune into the divine in the universe, so you can help have that internal foundation, that internal stability. The angels are guiding and supporting you, providing a stable foundation for success. That's the thing. Because we're releasing, because we're detoxifying, because we're tuning into the divine in our heart and soul, because we are shifting our perspective and embracing change and transformation, we're having this new foundation for success. We are being able to tune into it, because before, if you're like me and how all these people around you are just like playing it small, and like literally the other day, my mom was going on and on and on about how everything goes wrong, nothing goes right, everything's horrible, and it's just like, well, if that's the kind of energy you're putting out, it's no wonder you're always complaining. It's no wonder everything's a struggle, because the universe matches your energy. Your words create your reality. When you're speaking that into existence, when you're thinking that and believing that, it's like you're putting all this focus on it. And what you put your time, energy, and attention on will grow. You'll get more of that. It'll build momentum. So it's like it's no surprising. It's not surprising that that's happening, because that's what you're putting all this energy on. You're complaining day in and out about how everything's horrible. You're being thwarted at every turn. It's like, well, you're making yourself a victim. And that's the story you're writing, so it's not that surprising. It sucks. I wish you the best. I wish you would stop doing that for yourself and you would reclaim more of your power, because you do have power. Not over everything. We can't control the external. We can't control other people and their choices and, things like the weather and traffic. But what we do have control over is how we show up in the world. And because of all of this, it's leading to our prosperity. Because we are not, falling into our old patterns, our old belief systems, our old ways of being. We are shedding them like the snake. Embrace your potential and welcome prosperity. You are making wise decisions and heading in the right direction. And that's because you are opening up your heart. You are opening up your mind to the possibility. You are listening to your heart and soul. You are spending time on you. You are connecting with your genuine self and the universe. You are taking the aligned, inspired actions. And it's making a world of a difference. And some people would think, you're being crazy, but it's just like, we need to stop getting in our own way. And yeah, I measure my success by how much fun I'm having. You can have so much success, but you gotta let it in. And you can have more success by having fun rather than, trying to force things. Yeah, my happiness can be measured by the level of my faith and love. That's the thing. So many of us in society at large are not coming from a place of love. We're not coming from a place of, success, or in the, like, people put their success in, all these external material things and be like, once I have all this money, I'll be happy. But it's just like there's a number of people who are willing to backstab, betray, lie, manipulate, coerce, and use people as stepping stones, as tools. And it's just like, once they get what they think they want, they're not actually happy. They're just continuing to fill a void. They're going to all these vices to try to fill the void instead of going to a place of love, a place of kindness, a place of connection and authenticity. So yeah, that it's not that surprising that people are struggling. But yeah, curious, may you be open and explore. That's the thing. So many of us have stopped being curious, have stopped exploring. Yeah, we're becoming free. May your soul sing freely. That's the thing. Your soul wants to shine brightly. Your soul wants to be prosperous and free. And the thing is, you're so resilient. May your soul weather the storms. That's the thing. You're very resilient. But so many of us play it small and start denying ourselves. And it's really sad. But at the end of the day, Mountain Road, we're on the road to success because we are doing things differently. We're not falling into the same pitfalls as we used to. Yeah, Lily, spiritual love, that's the thing. We're connecting more into spiritual love instead of society's idea of love. Society at large, its idea of love is very conditional and restrictive and pretty unhealthy. Like, people put all these conditions on it, and like there's all this enabling going on, and so like you can't hold people accountable, and they like gaslight you. Like, it's not healthy, it's not sustainable. And that's not to say you can't love people from a distance, even when they're making those kinds of choices. You know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. I've said that a number of times on this channel. But you need to be kind, loving, and respectful to yourself, and not engage with all these toxic people, places, and things. Because it's not actual love if you are letting people just be disrespectful to you, be nasty to you, to gaslight you and belittle you, and just like put you through the ringer and just like throw mud and all these things. And there are people who do smear campaigns, and you know, they'll tell you you're crazy, and why are you being so unreasonable? Why are you deciding like we're the problem? And it's like all you're doing is trying to get a peaceful solution and just have an open, honest conversation, and then they'll just like go and explode on you. And but then they'll turn around and be like, no, we're just a big happy friend group. That's what happened with the toxic group, by the way. They love to say, no guys, we're just one big happy friend group, it's all good, we love each other, we support each other, we're all friends here. And it's just like, then you don't know what friends are, because you're being very cruel and invalidating and gaslighting and belittling and all these things. It's disrespectful. Because just because someone voiced a different opinion from you, just because they're trying to open a conversation about how your actions harm them, not saying you intended to necessarily, but like, hey, this is a problem, I'm getting like metaphorically, emotionally beaten up over here, I want to bring it to your attention so we can try to resolve this. Oh, you think we're all bad guys? Like, no, I don't. If I had decided you were bad guys and in the wrong and like couldn't change or learn, or like the situation can be like saved or resolved, I wouldn't have bothered bringing it up. I would have just left. But people be ways, guys. People be ways. Yeah. Cobweb. Protected from negative forces beyond your control. That's the thing. The universe is here protecting you. It's guiding you. It's has your back. You don't need to worry about that. You don't need to worry about that at all. Yeah, Diamond. You'll be receiving or giving a precious gift. And that feels like more of like love. You are getting more in tune with true love. Yeah. Hats, you will be playing a different role, and I think that's because you are shedding the old. Because like, if you're like me, the role that you usually get assigned is, you know, like black sheep, scapegoat, quote-unquote problem, quote-unquote dramatic one that ruins things by, you know, rocking the boat and disturbing the peace just because they don't want to hear it. But the thing is, Valley, deep personal strength and peace that assures success. That's the thing. All the success is lining up for you. It's all going to work out beautifully, and it's because you are taking charge of your life. You're stepping up and leading. You are becoming the captain of your ship and author of your story, throne, position of authority. You are not letting others dictate anymore. You're not. You're done with that. Those days are dead and gone. Like, it's been past. Chapter closed. You're not going back to the old you. And it's not that you, like, are bitter and resentful and hate other people for how they treated you. Granted, I understand why people would feel that way. I genuinely do, because I have been through the ringer. So many people have mistreated me, abused me, neglected me, like all these things, and it's come from all sides, and it's just like, I get why people would be upset and why they might, you know, turn to things like anger, resentment, frustration, bitterness, vengeance, all these things, but it's just like, that is so heavy, and I don't want that kind of energy in my life. I don't want to carry that around in my heart and have it be weighing down my soul and literally be eating it from the inside out. Because that's the thing, when you let that fester, when you cling on to those emotions, because we are allowed to feel any emotion. It's important to process our feelings, to give ourselves the chance to feel it. But that doesn't mean we act on it, and that doesn't mean we cling on to it and refuse to release it, refuse to let it go, because again, the universe wants to detoxify. If you are clinging on to these negative emotions and obsessing and fixating on them and just like having them go on and on and on, you're poisoning yourself. You are taking that poison into yourself and expecting it to harm the other person, when all you're doing is harming yourself and killing yourself little by little. But you don't need to do that. And this isn't me trying to be like, oh, I know better than everyone. I don't. I'm a human too. I'm still learning and figuring things out. Like, I'm looking back at the choices I've made, and it was the best I could do at the time, but I'm just like, oh, I could have done better. If I had known then, could have saved myself heartache and hassle. But I didn't know then what I know now. But I'm encouraging you to release the old, release the toxic, because you deserve better. You deserve love and kindness and peace and joy and success, and to be able to thrive and to feel alive, to not just exist. So yeah, like, it's all coming together beautifully for you. So trust the process, even if you feel lost right now, because there are some things where I still feel uncertain, a little bit lost. I'm like, okay, I know things need to be different. Like, for me personally, I know that I need to separate a lot more from my family, but it's just figuring out how to make that happen in reality, because I listened to other people when it came to, you know, going to school, and I ended up with debt because I got talked into by my advisors to get, you know, the dual program and get my master's too. And so I have this debt hanging over my head, and they're like, oh no, you know, it's gonna be in your best interest, because if you have a master's, then, you know, it's gonna look better for employers. The thing is, they didn't want to hire a teacher that with no teaching experience but had a master's, because it costs more. And it's like, well, we can get someone with a master's that actually has teaching experience. And like, it's a whole thing. It shot me in the foot. And so trying to figure that out, and dealing with all families, things, and like how draining it is to be around them, and knowing that I need to do things differently, but just trying to figure out how to make it happen, to have the means to make it all line up. And sometimes it really just feels like I need a divine intervention, but I'm trusting the process. I'm trying to take things one step at a time and figure things out, and staying true to myself. Because my family tries to like be like, oh, we know best, do this. And I'm like, if I do that, it's literally going to kill me from the inside out, and it's not going to be worth it. So, you know, just stay the course, guys. It'll get better. You know, with like the mountain road, mountains are not necessarily an easy thing to climb, but we are on the road to success. So I'm wishing you all a wonderful rest of your day. Please take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.